What's up, y'all? It's your boy Trey Nitty Gritty, and I'm right back like I never left. If this your first time to the channel, hit that subscribe button, like, share, and tap that notification bell so you can get notified anytime I drop some new content.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
I'm gonna tell y'all the rules to survive this situation.
I hate to break it to you, but the truth is...
If I was what? Say it again! What'd you say? No, that's what I thought you said.
I always tell the truth, even when I lie.
You know, if you wasn't my brother, I'd kill you. You know that, don't you? I'd blow your motherfucking brains
Yourself, man.
out.
Let them know what's up. My name's Trey Nitty Gritty, man. I'm from Waterloo, Iowa. Order in the court. We hold court in the streets. Yeah, man, we back like we never left, man. Right back in the trenches, holding court on the street. And today, you know what I'm saying, I got a guest with me, you know what I'm saying? Mr. Loco, Looney Tune Loc Letterman. We want to address this new law that they just came up with. It said, as of March 26, Iowa House Republicans are moving forward with the Career Criminals Bill. The legislation aims to impose mandatory minimum 20-year prison sentence without parole for repeat offenders who accumulate 3 points for a specific crime. Now, you know how they do, man, around here already, you know what I'm saying? What they was already doing with the career offenders, and they was giving people 15 years for being a career offender already, you know, for petty crimes and petty offenses. It's like, but
15 with the 3-year mandatory.
with a 3-year mandatory, and at least you got a chance for parole. But what I'm saying is they just give them out like it ain't nothing. You know, they've been doing that for a long time. So it's like, we already know what they're gonna end up doing with this new law that they coming up with, you know what I'm saying? I think they're gonna try to just pack all the jails, you know, or whatever, and just, cause it's more about money than anything with them, and just separating, you know, people from actually being, you know, becoming good citizens of the world, you know.
Lesser offenses, other aggravated misdemeanors such as assault causing injury count as a half point. Mandatory sentences upon accumulating 3 points, the offender is automatically sentenced to 20 years in prison. No parole, no reduced parole. The proposal requires offenders serve a significant portion of their sentence, 50 to 70% or more, depending on the crime, before they become eligible for parole.
So they're saying no parole, but then at the same time, they're still saying it is a parole, but you just got to do more time. They're trying to make you do a 50 or a 70% of it, basically, is pretty much what they're trying to do then. And instead of discharging the whole 20 years, would be like 9 years or something like that. But it still don't make no sense. That's crazy. They just came up with, how do they even come up with these laws? Like,
I don't know, it says convictions only count towards the total if they occur within a 20-year period, and the effective date the law would apply to convictions occurring on or after July 1st, 2026. You know, like I know, and anybody else that's been had to deal with a system that 9 times out of 10, it ain't no what they say, rehabilitation.
mm-hmm.
That's what it's, you know, that's what the aim is supposed to be, rehabilitation. Yeah, instead, we know this is about money. They get thousands of dollars every year for each inmate. More money for, they get $1,000 for everything that got to do with an inmate.
Thousands of dollars.
Whether
it don't
it's
really
treatment,
make no sense. Yeah.
Medical, all that.
And from what I hear is they taking most of the treatments out of the jails, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Yeah.
it can't even be about rehabilitation no more if they're taking the treatments out. You know
Treatment
what I'm saying?
and mental health issues. They, instead of giving people mental health, they send you to a prison where they put you on pills and you're on like the whole half of prison is on pill line, so it's about money, drugs.
And keeping people addicted, basically. So you would go to prison and come out with an addiction that you never had, pretty much.
Yeah, we didn't see it. I would name people names, but we didn't see people that went to prison one way and then they came home a different way. What the stuff they be taking?
They be taking Thorazine.
Thorazine, we call it brake fluid.
Yeah, they be taking all type of different stuff, man. They be having people on that pill line and they be stuck, you know, and it's messed up, but that's how, you know, they control people, I guess, you know, or whatever. And then when you get back out, you know, you really can't function like you said. So a lot of them have to go try to find other ways to live and that continue with that, you know, keep up with that drug, and then it might get them side effects where really a lot of people, you know, they die from it, you know, truthfully. Like they might come and have a seizure, start having seizures, never had seizures before in their life, but then they end up getting on the drugs that they be putting them on, and one of the side effects would be a seizure, and next thing you know, they had a seizure and died at a young age, you know. It just sounds like they're just trying to set up, they they throwing the ball in the air, man. They throwing some stuff up in the air and they trying to see what all gonna stick to it, and then they really just got something there to place on somebody when they get ready to use it. I think they really just, that's what they do, man.
It's an Iowa tough on crimes, that tough on crime movement. But what's crazy, I could be wrong, but from the research, obviously, and it seemed like they said the crime has went down. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, any people that look like us, any so-called black people, you got to be concerned when they make laws like that, because how the system is set up already, we disproportionately locked up, and you know what I'm saying? You can do the same crime as other people and you get more time. Look at the
that's
facts.
how it go. I've seen plenty of videos where people was going crazy on the police and doing something that we know if they was a different race, you know, it would have been a different outcome.
Yeah, I'm sure who came. Did some black people come up with this?
Man, the shit's crazy.
Who came up with this?
Or who do it apply to? That's really what it is, because they trying to make it too wide of a range. Then they just like talking about 3 strikes and they don't even really, you know, explaining what it's really doing, you know, so.
I don't know, the other concerning is adding misdemeanors, certain misdemeanors into that, they can give you a half a point towards a strike.
That's what we don't know what half points is, what charges, what carry what, and they trying to make it like they breaking it down, but they're not really breaking it down. But we know everybody can go to jail for anything around here. They arrest you for public intox, OWIs for sure, but public intox take you to jail repeatedly for that, and then, you know, you end up going to jail, an habitual offender, and end up with 20 years, you know, something like that. I don't know. It's just like
that's another thing. We talked about that too. We talked about that. That's another thing of how they be illegally sentences. So how that would apply if they try to make something into a felony, something
there wasn't an initial felony at first. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, man. I don't know. That's why I just be like, gotta stay out the way, man, because you know they done tried to give me 22 years for nothing, like a piece of something that they said was suspected marijuana, driving while barred, and like you said, they enhanced that misdemeanor into a felony and try to threaten me with charging me with a habitual offender and give me 15 years for the habitual offender, 5 years for the weed, plus 2 years for driving while barred. So the total, if I didn't just plead guilty to what they wanted me to, other words, they was gonna give me 22 years in prison. Just saying I'm a habitual offender when they made me a habitual offender if they enhanced my charge to a felony. That's pretty much what happened, you know, but yeah,
man,
that's crazy, man.
I had the judge tell me one time, take the 5 years. That's better because you could be I was facing 45 years for a blunt roast before, so.
Man.
40, they was talking about it.
I had a lawyer tell me to take the charge because he was trying to keep me out of prison. I'm like, and I paid him. I paid him $2,500. After that, I was like, I never pay a lawyer. I ain't paying a lawyer a dime. I'll go get me a public defender and tell him what to do and make him do what I want him to do before I give a lawyer some money. I paid this man, and he came back to me and tried to get me to take a plea bargain to him. I'll take the 5 years. He's trying to keep me out of prison, take the 5 years suspended sentence. I told him to take the 5 years suspended sentence because I didn't have nothing. And if you ain't had nothing, why won't you just take it then? You know, he refused, so I just made him give my money back. Yeah, but the raw truth is, you better watch out because you better be aware and you better know what's going on because these people playing the game and they behind closed doors making laws and they ain't asking for nobody's votes or, you know what I'm saying, opinions about none of it. They just making these laws, you know what I'm saying? So that's the raw truth, man. Y'all better stay on point, man, and try not to slip out here, man. If you're doing anything you ain't supposed to be doing, you know, try to stay smooth and get in and get out and try to stay away from anything that you ain't supposed to be doing. But if you is, you better be careful, man, because they out for us, man.
At the end of the day, whatever you're doing, know what comes with it, whether it's good or bad.
Can't do the time, don't do the crime. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it comes down to.